Hi guys, so today I'm going to be making my first cooking video on this channel, Medino Family, and I'm going to be making some ground beef picadillo with some potatoes and rice. These are the seasonings I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using salt, any of your liking, cumin, pepper, oregano, garlic powder. I would have also, I have also, where's my onions? Oh, here it is. Garlic powder and paprika. I also like to put a splash of this, but you can also use cooking wine. You don't have to add or cooking wine or this to it. You can just normal without it. I just like the taste that it has with that. I have bell pepper and onions already cut. I would have added garlic, but I ran out, so I would have put like maybe 3 or 4 heads of garlic in here. I like to add cilantro to it sometimes too. It just depends on what I have. I might add extra stuff that day, and if I don't have that stuff, then I go with whatever I have. So that's what we're cooking with today. First thing I'm going to do is the rice though. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Okay, so I added 3 of these little rice cups in my rice pot, and now I'm going to wash my rice. I wash it 3 times. I give it a good stir till it fills up with water, and I give it a good wash 3 times, and to me that's more than enough washing the rice. So I'll get back to you as soon as I'm done washing the rice. Okay, now that I have washed my rice, I put 3 of these, so I will put 4 and a little bit extra of water. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to put the water in here, and then I'm going to put my rice to cook. I don't have any, my background is mostly Cuban and American food. My mom was from Costa Rica, but I don't really know how to make anything like Costa Rican. But I make I just cook my way, you know. Everybody cooks their own way, and this is the way I make my stuff. And like I said, it all depends on what I have handy that day. So I filled up my pot with the water. Well, you can't really see it there, but okay. And I'm going to put it now to cook while I start my ground beef. Put it in here. And white rice, and boom, my rice is cooking. So now, while the rice is cooking, we're going to go ahead and start the ground beef. All right. So this is how I start my stove, RV, gas stove. I'm going to let my pot get a little warm on low because I don't want it to get hot too fast. So I put it on medium, let it warm up for about 2 minutes, and I'll be back while that does that. Okay, so my pot has been warming up for a few minutes, and now I'm going to add a little bit of avocado oil. You can use whatever oil you like. I usually use avocado or olive oil, but olive oil, oh wait, I almost forgot to add my salt and my oil in my rice. Yeah, I'm new to this, so I forget. Okay, so I'm going to add olive oil to my rice. And I'm going to add salt to my rice. That would have ruined dinner. All right. Salt to your liking. And then I'm going to get my little mover here and move it around. There we go. I'm glad I remembered. Okay. So yeah, so this is still there. Okay, so now I'm going to add the avocado oil to my pot, just a little bit, because you know ground beef can tend to be a little greasy. Just a little bit to to be able to saute my onions and bell peppers real quick a little bit before I add my ground beef. So now I'm just gonna move the oil around, spread it around, the teeny weeny bit I put in there. All right, we're gonna add the onions and bell peppers to the pot. Let's move that around a little bit. Now we're gonna let it cook there for about 2 minutes, and then we can add the ground beef to that. Make sure that you stand here and watch it, and you give it a little stir here and there so it doesn't burn or doesn't get ruined. You don't have to stir it around a lot. Just keep an eye on it. Let it do its things. Let it cook. So as I wait for that, I'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, so my onions and bell peppers have been cooking there for a few minutes. I like to add the cumin and the oregano to the little, as it's sauteing the onions and bell peppers, I will add a little bit of this to there so it starts like roasting it a little bit, getting the flavor. And then the oregano. It just gets the flavors and the smell, it gets it going. I don't add a lot, probably like half of a teaspoon, maybe. I don't know. I'm not good with measurements. I just go with the flow. So, okay, so then I'm gonna stir it up. Mix it in with the onions and bell peppers. Okay. I will add the rest of the spices, the seasonings, when I get the ground beef in there. Okay, so that's good. I will show you kind of what it looks like. So, like that. And now I'm going to add my ground beef to the pot. All right, now I'm going to start breaking it apart. And mixing it in well with my onions and bell peppers. I'm gonna get my other spoon because this one is a little too soft for me. My other mixing spoon is right here. Yeah, there we go. This one is better. It's a little bit. I have it on high right now because depends on your stove. Like my stove is a propane gas stove. Depending what I'm cooking, it might be like really high. So once it starts going and I'm ready to just let it cook, I will lower it. But right now it's like cooking in slow motion because it's just every gas stove is different. Like if you have a burner that is bigger, these ones are small burners, they'll throw out not that much heat. So I would say if you're cooking at home in a normal stove, I would probably say keep it at medium low so you don't burn anything. Just depends on your stove. Right now I just want to brown the meat a little bit before I add the potatoes, but as it starts browning I will start adding the seasonings. All right, so as it browns I will start adding the salt, the garlic, there's a good amount of ground beef because We are a family of 5, so I cook quite a bit. A little bit of pepper. Hubby doesn't like pepper too much, so I don't add too much to it. And then the paprika. The paprika gives it flavor and gives it a little color. Also does the tomato sauce. I don't use any of the coloring seasonings because I've heard they're bad for you, so I just try to steer away from them unless it's very necessary, but I haven't used them in a long time. Okay, so my ground beef is still browning here. I wish you could see it. It's just that it's very hard to get my camera way over here. Okay, show you, see if I can show you what it looks like a little bit as it's cooking there. All right, let's go over here. Let's go over here without getting tangled. All right, let's see right here. Right here. Oh, there we are. There we go. See, it is cooking right there. Let's see if I can get it stay here, or you can see it better maybe. Yeah, I think so. So I just keep moving it around so it keeps breaking into smaller pieces and then letting it brown a little bit. It's browning. It smells nice in here already, you know, with the seasonings and the meat and bell onions and bell peppers. Okay, so it's already a little bit browned. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add the potatoes. Mix them up in here. I'm gonna go ahead and add the tomato sauce. I might need a little more actually than this because that's just not enough. All right, so I'm gonna wash my can because it's always important to wash cans because they are very dirty. Okay, and I like to wash all my cans before I use them a little bit. I'm going to add a little more tomato sauce because this is a big amount of ground beef, and I will save the rest here for another time. I also reuse jars. This is a coffee. I don't like storing anything in a can in my fridge. This is a perfectly good glass that I would pay money for if it didn't have 360 on it to use it as, you know, a storage thing. So yeah, I just reuse. I keep it and I use it as I need it. Okay, so I'm gonna move this around, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of water, let it cook, and a little bit of the brown vinegar of the organic, see, can you see it, the light organic brown rice vinegar. Okay, so let me get a little water. I'm going to do these little cups right here, and then I'm going to fill it to, I don't want too much water, but I don't want it like, I don't want it too watery, but I don't want it dry either. I like to have some sauce in my ground beef. I'm going to add 3. I think 3 is enough. Yeah, 3 is enough. So now I will get some of this, and I will just put some in there like so. And then I'm going to move it. I am going to give the water a little taste to see if, sorry, excuse me. Didn't want to see that so close. I'm going to give my water a little taste and see if it needs a little more salt, and then cover it and let it cook for at least 20 minutes. Let all the seasonings and the juices cook up. Let me wash my spoon. Hello. Okay, let me wash my spoon on this side. Right, and I'm gonna add just a little more salt and we're good. A little more salt, mix it around, and then just let it sit there, let it cook on. I'm gonna let it come to a good boil. I'm gonna cover it, let it come to like a good boil. Ow, it gets hot. And then I'm gonna put it on medium. Like it's on 10 right now. I'm gonna put it on, oh, let me see if I can show you what it looks like right now. So that's what it looks like. It's starting to boil. Okay, and I'm gonna cover it and let it cook for a good 20 minutes on medium. I'll be back. I'll show you guys the final results of my dinner when I am done. I'm not sure if I mentioned, but every, so often do come and, check on it, make sure you're not burning it, make sure that you don't need to turn down the stove a little more, and you can give it a little stir, just to make sure that everything's cooking properly, nothing is sticking. You don't have to do it often, just, out of the 20 minutes, maybe 2 times at least. Just make sure that you don't burn your food. So the last like 5 minutes, I will let it cook open, so the water dries out a little bit and it gets like thicken the sauce up, because I don't want watery sauce. So I just let it cook there for the last, like, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes. If it needs a few more minutes, I will let it sit there for a few more minutes. But just wanted to add that on here, so what I do just to make sure that the water that I added on there thickens up and I have a nice thick sauce. Okay guys, so here is the final. Let me try to set it down differently so you can see it better. Here is my final plating. Let me see if I can push the camera down and you can see it that way. It looks a lot better that way. There we go. So that's what it looks like. I got my ground beef, got me a little avocado and a little Caesar salad, and that's what I'm gonna have for dinner. And so I hope you guys like my video. And here's me with my plate. Really hot. It's delicious. It's super, super delicious. Sorry, it's really hot. It's really yummy. Hope you enjoyed my video. Hope you learned something new. Maybe not. Maybe it'll just help you to have a quick and easy way of making your ground beef. Fast dinner. I mean, this dinner doesn't really take a long time. I think prepping is the longest, cutting your onions and your stuff, but really it takes your rice, whatever minutes your rice cooks on the rice cooker, and it takes 20 to 30 minutes to cook your ground beef. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Give this video a like and comment if you wish, share if you wish. Thank you.